How you doing today?
Hey, what's happening?
Good. Hey, Jacob Pawelczyk from Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, nice to meet
Doing
you.
well?
Yeah,
Good. Mind if I take a seat?
Yeah, please do.
Fantastic. Mind if I take some notes as well?
Hey, whatever you got to do.
Great, thank you. Hey, just want to let you know, I saw that article that the Wall Street Journal put out the other day, commemorating your business for being one of the best software programming in the nation. So I say congratulations.
Good. I appreciate you recognizing that.
Oh, for sure. And that's so awesome. And I'm so happy to be here today doing business with such a prestigious company. You know, you guys take your service and your products very seriously. Here at Liberty Mutual, take your customer service very seriously. So just make sure I get you my business card before I leave here today. It's got all my information. If you ever need anything, any questions after we meet, feel free to reach out to me anytime.
For sure, absolutely.
Fantastic. I also want to say thank you so much for getting back to my voicemail. I know that Daniel Rodriguez had referred me to you, and that he was mentioning that you were having some concerns with your recruitment and retention processes as far as this goes in the upcoming time frame. So I'd love to go ahead and talk about that today with you.
Yeah.
You still have 12 minutes to talk about that today?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And you have to stay on those 12 minutes. I've set aside an agenda for us. First thing I want to do is ask you some more questions to find out more about your processes here at Falcon Data Services pertaining to recruitment and retention. From there, I'd love to go ahead and share with the ways that Liberty Mutual can help boost those numbers for you and make you even happier with those processes. And from there, I'd love to go ahead and see if it makes a good business sense to proceed in a mutually beneficial relationship. All sound good?
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, fantastic. So Pat, when making a decision such as this, can you go ahead and give me some insight on the process?
Well, you know, that's a tough question. I'm not sure exactly what decision we'll be making. It's kind of more of an informative session to see what we have. I do hiring, so primarily, so I do all the hiring at the company. My boss has kind of asked me to explore options, retention options, and that's the reason we gave you the voicemail. Okay, for sure. I hope that kind of answers the question you're asking.
No, certainly. So yeah, in the area of insurance, voluntary benefits, benefit packages, would that be you? Would that include anybody else?
Yeah, so what I'm doing is kind of screening a couple folks to come in, but my boss, Nate Sanis, would be involved. If we were to add something, I'd have to get his blessing on that as well.
All right, certainly. Thanks, Pat. Makes sense. All right, so I'm going to dive a little bit more in to get a better understanding about your needs pertaining to recruitment right now. So can you tell me a little bit about your recruitment situation currently? Yeah,
so we're kind of in a crisis recruitment situation. We've lost 3 employees over the last 2 weeks, which is high for us, especially over that short period of time. So the recruitment right now is really me just hustling my butt off to find some more and get these spots filled.
Definitely. And how do you go about your recruitment?
I do online, everything, Indeed, LinkedIn, I mean, you name it, we have out there. I'll look at resumes online and call people, that type of stuff. Okay, definitely. And I know this is a very competitive job market, I understand. Yep. What do you do right now to differentiate yourself from other competitors? Yeah, so I mean, we have a standard benefit package. I mean, we have a 401k, health insurance, we got 2 weeks vacation, we even do a profit sharing plan. So that, and you know, our owner really cares about the employees here. So I know that doesn't really quantify anything for you, but I named some of the benefits that we do.
Certainly. And you said you lost 3 employees over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A little high. How many employees are you looking to recruit coming up?
I gotta get 4, actually 5 in the next 3 weeks following. We're releasing a software program that we're a little bit behind on, and so we're going to need the bodies in here to help get that done. Okay. Now,
where are you at currently in that process? You think you're close to that 5, or where are you now?
No, but don't tell my boss that.
Certainly. Where are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I haven't hired one of them, but I've interviewed a couple people. Okay. So I got 2 I kind of like, but that leaves 3 more that I haven't even started on.
Certainly, no, and that's I understand that. So if I could help you go from that 0 with a couple interviews right now, push past that possibility you're looking at and get you to that 5, if not beyond, how would that make you feel?
That'd be great. If you work off my plate, I'll take it.
Certainly, fantastic. And we will come back to that here in a second and talk a little more on that. Yep. But I want to know too about your current retention situation. Can you give me a little bit more light in that?
Well, I mean, like I said, we've lost 3 people over the last 2 weeks, so that's a problem from a retention standpoint.
And is that common, or?
No, I mean, we probably will only lose about 10 a year. Okay. I mean, we got 300 employees, lose about 10 a year, and usually those are good turns, Jacob, meaning that the employee wasn't that great, and so we have to ask them to leave. these 3 that I'm talking about were good employees and actually left for our competitor. So that's why that's why you're here today, or why even having a salesperson in is because this has been a problem for us.
And how much would you say a good employee, those 3 good employees, is worth to your company? How much revenue did they bring in?
I don't know how much revenue per employee they bring in. I know my boss was mentioning the other day that between losing one and hiring a new one, it's probably costing us around $100,000.
Like $100,000.
Yeah.
Is that all the onboarding costs and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, you add it all together, loss of revenue without them.
Yeah, and if you had to, because you said they were really important employees, if you had a ballpark number of what they contribute to the company, is that a major loss?
Yeah, I mean, it's a major loss. Anytime we lose good people, it's a concern to our owner.
Sure.
Regardless of really how much money they bring in, the most difficult part of my job is to find good people, and when we have good people and we lose them, that's a problem.
Definitely. So, now where would you like to see your retention rate after this?
I don't know from a rate standpoint where I'd like to see it. We just can't have good people leave. You know what I mean? So if I told you 0.86 is where I want my retention rate, that doesn't mean anything. We just have to have good people and not go into our competition.
Definitely. And if I could get that rate from this 10 a year to maybe down to 1, 0, even
yes,
how would that make you feel?
That would be good. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Now you're talking.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'd love to go ahead and talk a little bit more. I feel like I've gained a good understanding of what Falcon Data Services is dealing with right now. Is there anything else you want to discuss before we move forward? Fantastic. All right, Pat, so like you mentioned, one of the 2 big things you're kind of looking at right now with your recruitment and retention. As far as recruitment goes, you said you've lost 3 over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You're going to hire 5 in the next 3. Right now, you're at 0 official and up to 3 interviews. And then with retention, from that standpoint, you've lost, like I said, you've lost 3 over the last 2 weeks. And those are 3 really solid guys that raise a lot of concern in the company for your boss. And then also, you said about $100,000 a person is what goes on onboarding. You lose 10 of those a year. It's $1 million that you could be preventing giving back to your bottom line at this point.
Yeah.
So what I want to kind of present to you today is Liberty Mutual Advantage. What this is it's a preferred auto and home insurance rate for your company. It's a mutually exclusive deal that I'd like to talk about. It's also 0 cost to you as an employer and 0 cost to the employee. And they also do not need to participate given the voluntary nature unless they do elect to do so. So looking back at your recruitment situation, that's going to help you differentiate yourself. Like you mentioned, you're not doing too much to differentiate yourself in the marketplace now. It's going to bring you back and allow you to differentiate yourself and attract those employees. So it's going to bring you your number from 0, it's going to skyrocket it. We're going to get you those 5 and even surpass past that because people will be looking to sign on with a company that offers the highest benefit rate in the country, the best highly rated benefit rate in the country.
Got it.
Liberty Mutual. And as far as retention goes as well, over the last, like you said, you lose 10 people roughly a year. You lost 3 over the last 3 weeks. There's some concern there about why they're staying here with the company. But I'm going to assure you too that I imagine you as an HR professional want to do the best for your employees. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt.
Certainly. So would you agree with me that this sounds like it would be something good for your employee, offering those extra benefits and put cash back in their pocket at no cost to you?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It kind of seems like a lot of work on my end, and I'm going to be busy hiring these 3 people.
Well, certainly, I understand that, and that's definitely a big concern. Can I ask you what you would do with the time that would be given? Like, how much time you have to dedicate to hiring those 3 people?
I mean, it's everything I'm doing right now. My boss needs it done, and that's all. So I don't have hours to be training employees and asking them about their personal home and auto insurance.
Certainly, that's the beautiful thing of this program actually, is that because it allows you to continue to do your job while I do my job. So you can go ahead and focus on your hiring and retention of those employees. I'm going to focus on the personal benefits plans, the marketing and rollout of this, and the implementation of this for you.
Okay.
All I request is 1 meeting a month, 10 to 15 minutes to sit down and kind of give you an update of where I am. We can kind of spitball some ideas and go from there. So I'm going to take this all off your hands and go ahead and help me out with that.
And when you say 1 meeting a month, I guess my other concern would be, so I don't need an insurance person soliciting my employees.
Sure.
They'll all kill me if I have somebody going after them, bugging them about their personal insurance.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, that is a concern. Can I ask you too, what you really look for your employees as far as your benefit packages?
I mean, as far as this one, it'd be somebody who was there for them, but not necessarily someone actively calling them time after time and soliciting them.
No, certainly. And I understand that, and that's something I don't do personally.
Okay.
Like I said, service is my #1 key. That is what we do here at Liberty Mutual. I take that into consideration. I do not want to be overbearing with your employees.
Yeah.
Simply what it is it is a voluntary benefits program, and that's what it will be. It is there in case they do choose to enroll. I'll do my best to educate on them, but not be pushy at the same time. Does that
Sure.
sound good?
Yeah, that does sound good. I appreciate you answering that.
Fantastic. So how does this all sound? Do you have any other concerns?
No, those were kind of the two main ones that I had.
All right, fantastic. Well, Pat, like you said at the beginning of today's meeting, to make good business sense, you'd be interested in moving forward. So let me ask you too, going back to Mr. Stanis, Nate Stanis, would you agree that he is on the same wavelength as you as far as he wants the best for his employees and wants to add back to his bottom line?
Certainly, yeah.
Definitely. And so at the same time, you said you needed a blessing. I feel like that may be a call for his blessing as well. So what I'm going to do today is put this $1 million, if it's 10 people a year, let's prevent that. Let's put it back into your bottom line, because you can take that and put it back to benefit for you, put it back in R&D, maybe back in employee benefits, anything you want to do for your company that's $1 million more that you have flexible in your budget here. All I need you to do is go ahead and do your signature. We're going to go ahead and get you rolling. And
you're going to get me fired here, Jacob. hey, look, I think it's a great program, and I appreciate you asking me. I'd love to, but the moment I sign something where Nate doesn't agree with me, I'm in big trouble, man. That's the axe for me.
No, for sure, I understand, and I just want to give you this option. I want you to be the hero if you think this is the right thing to do.
Wouldn't that be great?
But this is an opportunity to do so, but if not, I do understand.
Yeah, okay
for
good.
sure. So would you be able to agree to maybe a next meeting, next week, let's say Tuesday at 2 o'clock? We can bring Mr. Stanis in with yourself, and we can go ahead and sit down and talk a little bit farther about this package.
That I can agree to.
Okay.
What was the date again you're saying there?
Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Sure, I could do that and bring Nate in.
And can I have you, can I get your honest word that you will bring this to him prior and endorse Liberty Mutual as an exclusive package?
Yeah, I'll bring it to him, and I definitely like what I'm hearing so far.
Fantastic. All right, thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to our meeting next week at Tuesday. Go ahead and give you a leave behind here. In case you have any questions, this is a little bit more detailed about the package. And there's also some letters of recommendation in there. And I would love to, I'd love to answer any questions along the way too. If you have my information, don't be afraid to reach out.
Great.
All right.
Thank you
so much,
Jacob.
Pat.
Good. All right. So you tell me first. What did you think went real well? What would you do differently?
Sure.
If you redo it?
I thought I got good numbers. Saw that you had 5 people leave in the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
Got you to admit the realization of like, wow, I said there's a lot. What could I do if I had this opportunity to get these people? It'd be great. Or also with 10 people per year, like $100,000 of training, it was $1 million a year.
Yeah.
How would you feel if I could get that back to you, the bottom line? It'd be good. So I got you to realize that. Something I could have done a little better, maybe pick up a little more on kind of like what is making people leave, possibly, without data services and go to data solutions or whatever.
Right.
Maybe more like the problematic side behind it.
Like maybe a morale piece right there.
Yeah, right there. So, but overall, I mean, as far as numbers and things like that, and convincing sale, I felt like it created maybe a sense of urgency.
Sure.
Got the next meeting, things like that. Got the blessing from you to go ahead and tell your Sanus that you're going to endorse this program and things like that. So.
Yeah, I thought you did a very good job, Jacob. You have when you walk into the room and shake hand, hey, I'm Jacob. Just big, bold presence, right? As a HR manager, I'm not going, oh God, I got to talk to this guy for the next 12 minutes. I'm going, okay, this will be all right. But I think we kind of skip almost too quick into the, okay, here we go, here's my agenda. Just maybe 1 or 2 silly rapport things in there to keep your great image that you came in the room with.
For sure.
So I thought you did a good job asking all the background questions. What I was very impressed with is when I wouldn't answer your rate question, you did it for me. You were like, okay, would it be fair to say this? And you got me to agree with it, and that's something that got brought up earlier today when I didn't get a question right. We had someone not ask that, so I don't know. There's no rate or anything in the case, so I didn't know. And so you said, well, is it fair that this would be the case? And you did. I thought your summary was probably the strongest part when you were summarizing and moving into your value prop. I love how you did the math in your summary. So to have the presence of mind to be in a sales competition write down what I'm saying, and then translate that to, well, you said 3 people plus 7 at $100,000, that's $1 million, and do that on the fly, and bring Nate's name back up and do all that. That's very impressive to do. What I will tell you, awesome job doing questions. When you went into the value prop, it almost went into, all right, now I'm going to talk for 3 straight minutes.
Yeah.
So still get me to a little bit by back. You know, does that sound okay? So, you know, maybe sentence, get me talking a little. You know, you don't have to stop the whole meeting, but at least get me buying back in. I thought it was maybe a little, when you went to the Liberty Mutual part, it sped up a good bit.
Okay.
So, and I think you'll see when you watch a video, you have very good back and forth asking the questions, and then it was like, all right, here's my value prop, and I'm going to get it all out as soon as I can because I only have 12 minutes to go. And then these are small tweaks. I'm being kind of hard on you because you did a good job.
Thanks.
You were telling me at the end, well, there's some concern to this. There's concern here. You were telling me there was concern. Ask that.
Yeah.
Tim, is there concern here? And get me to say yes. Okay, well, since there's concern, there's my next spot. Does that make sense?
No, for sure.
You know the point I was talking?
Yeah, and that's something that I always like, I'm hard on myself and I'm hard on other people too. I'm like, oh, don't like tell them that something's wrong, make them say it. So like, I'm gonna kick myself for that one.
Yeah, and I think you'll pick it up on the video. There were two different ones of you telling me that what I have now isn't working. Now, what you were saying was right. You were correct, but get your buyer to say that. Look, you're going to have different opinions on the close, okay? Some people are going to tell you it's way too aggressive. Some people are going to say, no, I didn't have a problem with it. It's a sales comp, but who sees what other people did? I like that you tried, and then you backed off when I said I couldn't. So we'll see what these guys got to have for you.
Okay. I think the one bit of advice that I can offer is slow it down. You're a fast talker. And my initial gut, just right in the first opening, was you're a hard seller. You're a used car salesman. But you know, you did a lot of. You got the facts down, and you did a lot of great probing. And you know, there was a point where I really liked this, where he was concerned about how much work it was for him, and you said, hey, this is going to allow you to do what you need to do right now, which is hire those 5 people. And allow me to do what I'm going to take care of. I'm going to step in, this is going to be kind of turnkey for me. So that was a great segue there, and I really liked that a lot. The only other thing, there's an uncomfortable moment at the end where you asked him, will you give me your honest word?
Yeah.
Don't understand what that saying means and the relevance of what that would be in the presentation, because it's almost saying, are you going to lie to me?
Yeah.
You're not going to lie, you know. So I was a little awkward with that, but slow it down a little bit. I think that it's going to help with understanding what you're saying. Because there were some times when I was challenged following you because you were talking so fast.
I apologize.
And I know it's 12 minutes, but
Yeah.
still, you can say fewer words and say more.
You're strong. I mean, you're poised, you're strong, you're confident. You've already heard it. Slow down. Choose your words carefully. Here you were impressing us. I mean, you're so thorough, and you go into your presentation and you start to describe the program, and you said, this will really be a great benefit to your company. As you described the voluntary benefits program. It's not for the company. It's a voluntary benefits program which will be of value to the employees. I know what you meant. You know what you meant. When you watch the video, you'll find 3 or 4 places where you were saying the right thing, but you were moving so fast that when you say the wrong thing, correct yourself. And maybe I was wrong. I saw almost, a little flinch. It was like, slow down and correct yourself, okay? And the second thing I would offer up, you owned the room. You owned him. He liked it, okay? There's going to be other HR people who aren't going to respond as well. So when Tim says, hey, I mean, you already are waiting for one of us maybe to say, this, put that contract in front of you right now. All I'd offer up is listen to what else he had to say, because he's already told you that his boss has got to be involved. It's fun. He didn't take offense to it, but you're asking him to sign something even though he already told you that he was going to have to discuss it with his boss, right? So, did you say that, or am I missing that?
I think.
You do.
Okay,
I
anyway.
think it came up.
And avoid hyperbole. You know what that word means?
Well,
okay?
like
It means
exaggeration.
to the highest level.
Yeah.
Okay, meaning, if I can help you go from 0 to 5 in the next 3 weeks, you're not an HR recruiting company, okay? Your voluntary benefits program isn't really going to be the thing that's going to, think about it. He's got to hire 5 people in 3 weeks. It's almost impossible,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, so he's got so much on his plate. Just don't go offer up that you can do things beyond what is reasonable. It's okay just to give some benefit. You don't have to give it all, Same way, he loved your math on the fly, so did I. You get $1 million here. If I could, if my program could help with that retention and reduce some of that, even if it was as much as half of that, it's $500,000,
Yeah.
okay? That's different than what you said is, I can give you that $1 million back. Your
Yeah.
voluntary benefits
There's no
program
way.
is not going to be, unless you had other things to go along with it, it's not the only thing he needs. You see what I'm saying? So just don't over-exaggerate. Be strong and powerful. That's what's impressive about you. Just don't, just don't overdo it. Is what I'd say, because this is not your first rodeo, and you rode that bull really well. But there's a couple of points where you don't have to go wave to everybody, and it's almost, it was just a little bit too much because you're so talented, but just slow down a little bit and keep asking them questions, even when you're making statements, and pay attention to those. It's just a word here, a word there, but we're going to pick up on that stuff when you're as impressive as you are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Certainly.
There are so many positives. When you linked Nate to what Pat's role was in terms of both being on the same page, that's a home run. I mean, that's well
But
said.
you did that, right? But then you come back and you still want to put that contract in front of him, sign here right now. Then you're back to being a used car salesman.
Yeah, I was thinking more along the lines of like, hey, would Nate agree to this? Is this something that you think you could make in your own decision based on what you know about Nate?
And that's what you meant.
Yeah.
But that's not what you did, right? It's all there. It's
Yeah.
obvious that it's all there. One last thing. I don't know how you feel about this. His name is Pat Helms. He's Mr. Helms to you until he gives you permission otherwise. That's from my generation. That's from my dad's generation. You're a lot younger than George and I, so maybe you don't feel that way. But you're really good at repeating his name. That's another great skill that I wish people had. But Pat this and Pat that and Pat that, and he is a little bit older than you, But if you're going to start doing that, just say, you mind if I call you Pat? Call him Mr. Helms the first time, and if he turns around and says, that's my dad, that's your cue. That's your cue, right?
Yeah.
And that gets you bonded in a way that other things won't. Just little tweaks, man.
Definitely.
All right, Jacob.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
sir. Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Here is your certificate, and then there's a self-assessment if you can complete this and turn that in with where you registered this morning, okay?
Certainly. Thank you so much.
Great job, Jackie.
Thanks. Appreciate it.